Hey guys, welcome to the Subtle Foodie Podcast. We have a different view today, thanks to the wonderful Andrea Williams.
Frank has changed.
Frank has lost some weight, Frank has changed. Frank's not here, but Miss Andrea, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
How are you? Thanks for being with us.
Great. Thanks for having me again.
Excited to be back.
Can't wait. It's the highlight of my week.
It's the highlight of everybody's week, obviously. Today's Good Friday. Everybody's off school. Some people are off work. Not us.
No, I don't go to school.
I don't. Yeah, I go to work, but I should probably. I'm sure today's a day off.
It must be.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're here with Stuart Lapp. So Stuart and I got to know each other through different barbecue means that we'll talk about. But Stuart is from Stibbs & Co., so he's an attorney, and we're not going to hold that against him. I only say that because my wife is an attorney, who you know.
I know, Rachel.
Who you know.
Yep.
And so welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
It's first time on a podcast, so.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's not that hard. I mean, it's just,
just talking.
It's
right?
just talk.
Ignore the camera.
Ignore the camera. Don't even look. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So you and I met through some barbecue events.
So I think we met in 2014 at Barbecue Summer Camp at Texas A&M.
Barbecue Summer Camp. That's right.
Back,
when it first started.
I mean, it was, I don't know, second or third. When it was easier to get into before the
there was not a lottery that sells out in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Although, in the reason I did Barbecue Summer Camp is I tried to get into Brisket, Camp Brisket, but didn't get there fast enough.
Yeah.
Pre-lottery, you literally had to be online the minute it opened up. And when I did find, the next January I got into Brisket Camp, but literally 2 minutes after it opened up, it sold out.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that's
an interesting story. So
I'm like, what does one do at Barbecue Summer Camp?
So this is a really cool event, and so the guys from Texas A&M from the meat science department. Of course, there's a meat science department at A&M. Of course. There is the Rosenthal Meat Science Center, which is a whole building dedicated to the processing of meat. I mean, from the beginning to end, they literally have a slaughterhouse in the building, and they bring in live cattle,
right?
And they slaughter them there through all the means, and it's all USDA inspected and everything.
They harvest them. They don't slaughter them.
I'm sorry.
They harvest.
Harvest.
Yeah. Get it
Sorry
right.
to my vegan friends. I don't have any vegan friends. So they harvest the animals, they process the animal, and they even sell there's a shop in the building where you can actually buy the meat from, and then there's like blast freezers and stuff. And
That's
so
pretty cool.
I got involved in this very, very early, like the very first one, and I went up with a good buddy of mine, Richard Flores, and so it's Jeff Sable and a whole bunch of the other teachers and professors who were there, and they came up with this thing, and they called it Barbecue Summer Camp, and it was 3 days. And it's funny, you walk into this building, it's like a lecture hall, a stepped lecture hall that you would imagine at a college.
You're taking class.
The only difference was there was a rail on the ceiling, and the rail, they would rail in like freaking half a cow. And it was like marked, and you learned everything from the harvesting process to the seasoning to the smoking and the science of it all. And it's
really cool.
It was 3 days, and then it got so popular that they had to split it, and they started doing a brisket camp, which was kind of in the winter time.
Yep.
And it was 2 days, but it kind of concentrated on brisket.
Right.
But
So
I learned a ton.
Is this more for restaurateurs, or is it for anybody? Like anybody?
Anybody
who
can
wants
sign
to
up
learn.
for it.
Yeah, so I described it as like baseball fantasy camp for barbecue.
That's a good
for barbecue people.
It's just, I mean, I remember sitting there the first morning of the first day of Barbecue Summer Camp, and I went, this is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, it's just for nerds though.
Sure, yeah.
So.
Well, and the baseball fantasy camp thing's really cool because you're sitting there as just a person. You're like, oh, there's Aaron Franklin, there's Wayne Mueller, there's John Lewis.
So these guys are
Russell
helping
Reggers.
put it on?
They're like part of the panels.
That's
and
really
you get
cool.
to talk to them. And so it's like meeting the baseball players.
Sure, yeah.
So you mentioned Russell. Russell was actually an attendee in my in barbecue summer camp and brisket camp when I was there before he started. He was doing baker's ribs at the time, but he will tell you that going to barbecue summer camp and Camp Brisket made him so much better and gave him the ability to get away from bakers and open his own place. So, but it's really cool.
That sounds fascinating.
And I did it for like 4 years. I went to all of them for like 4 years or something like that, and it's great. And and even now, all of those guys, all the A&M guys, come out to the Houston Barbecue Festival.
Right.
We just had it less than a month ago,
2 weeks ago,
and they all came out, and so it's a good relationship. They love teaching about barbecue and come and experience it all. So it's really a cool event.
That is awesome.
If you've never been, but now it's so hard to get into. Now it's a lottery, so. And it's a preferential lottery, meaning if you've been before, like if you were in the previous year, there's no way you're getting a ticket.
Well, that's good. So they open it up to people who have not gone yet.
Right. Yeah. And so I think it favors some of those folks and however they do it. But
I know people who have tried for 5 years to get in and haven't. I mean, people call me and email me and say, hey, give me an inside tip. How can I get in?
Yeah.
Patience.
So, it's patience, persistence. It's kind of like cooking a brisket. You gotta
Patience and persistence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Patience, persistence, and seasoning.
It's done when it's done. Yeah. Salt,
it's done
salt
when
and
it's
pepper.
done.
Yeah.
Only salt and pepper, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Aaron
let us have a little conversation about that. So Daniel Vaughn, aka Barbecue Snob, aka Texas Monthly barbecue editor, published an article a few days ago about how Lowry seasoned salt. Did you read this? How Lowry seasoned salt is a key ingredient on 6 of the top 10 of the Texas Monthly top 10. 6 of their brisket seasonings, those guys have claimed contains. I mean, the owners of those restaurants claim that it contains at least a portion of Lowry seasoned salt. And it was just kind of, I know he published the article, but one of them was Aaron Franklin.
Really?
Well, and so
I'm shocked to hear that.
I think the mantra has always been, as long as Daniel's been writing and talking about, Aaron Franklin only uses salt and pepper.
Right.
Well, he talked to Aaron Franklin, and Aaron said, I use seasoned salt. Sometimes, not all the time, sometimes.
Well, the current rub
salt,
has...
technically.
Correct,
so,
with a little added to
and so here was Aaron's rationale, which makes a lot of sense, is when he's doing the YouTube videos in the masterclass, he's teaching people to use salt and pepper. And the reason, or his rationale for that, whether it's a valid reason or not, his rationale was when you're teaching people to examine the differences in what they're cooking, and so you change this process and you do this differently in different temperatures and stuff, well, you keep something the same the whole time. And so it's salt and pepper, and because the other flavors, onion, garlic, seasoned salt, whatever, tend to mask what you're looking for, like the key things that you're like trying to identify. So he says that's why he teaches it with just salt and pepper. Now,
that's your control.
That's your control.
And then you play with your other things.
I was at Louis Mueller Barbecue yesterday, and the mantra at Louis Mueller Barbecue is always 9 parts pepper, 1 part salt.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's on the shirt.
Yeah.
Like it's
and the
literally
it's
the gospel according to Louis Mueller. That's their thing. And that is what it is. On the brisket, not the ribs, on the brisket. So, but it's an interesting revelation about Lowry seasoned salt when people are so Central Texas, all salt and pepper barbecue, salt and pepper barbecue.
But the other places don't use just salt and pepper. I mean, there's
of course,
but the difference is they don't claim they just use salt and pepper. So I think that's
they're not going to tell you.
Yeah,
it's proprietary.
Well, but but honestly, the thing about the barbecue places, you go to any barbecue place, I submit, and talk to the pitmaster. He will tell you exactly what he does. You can't do it, but he'll tell you what he does.
Right,
that's right. And that's why, like, Wayne puts that on their shirts at Louis Mueller. He says, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll tell you our exact rub recipe and the process we use." But you know what you don't have? You don't have the low brick pits that we use, and the timing that we use, and the wood that's local that we use. There's no way you're going to get close, but you're never going to replicate that.
It's the process.
But that's the thing about the barbecue community is there's such a camaraderie and collegiality amongst themselves and with outsiders, and that's something that I have found over the years. I mean, we talked about, we first met back in 2014, but what that did is kind of gave me an entree into the community, so to speak.
Right.
And, they don't care that I'm not a barbecue guy. I mean, I mess around and cook a brisket here and there and do that kind of thing. But, you're welcome. Oh, you come to my come back, see the pit, and that's just how it is with everybody. And that's so unique, I think, in the barbecue community.
I mean, a lot of people outside the community think, oh, these are secret recipes and things like that. But no, you talk to these guys. And that's why Barbecue Summer Camp works so well. And why John Lewis and Wayne and others would come out was because they want to teach. They want to get people into it. I mean, it's good for them. It's good for other people.
Sure.
It's an enjoyable...
But they want to share and grow the community and have everybody involved. And that's great.
That's one of the reasons why we started the Houston Barbecue Festival, right? Originally, it was, it's not a competition. It's not it's meant for nothing else than to build the barbecue community in Houston and surrounding areas. And I mean, we had the last one. It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And we had, how many joints?
27.
27
booked.
We had Ray's was out, but 27 barbecue joints, and I think we had 2,500 people.
Yeah.
I think we were about 2,500 people. It was our first one back. We had 2 years off, which was a bummer. But first one back, the weather was perfect, and it was good. What did you think?
I thought it was fantastic. I mean, and it was. First of all, it was good. It was like a catharsis for all these barbecue joints to kind of be able to get together again. Because one of the reasons that they like doing these festivals, it's an opportunity for them to all be in the same place at the same time and renew friendships and swap stories and tell lies to each other and but it's turned out and I understand that Saturday night was a little tame this year compared to other years. But
there was no golf cart flamethrower incidents.
Wow.
Nobody passed out in the bathroom, so it was more tame.
So in past barbecue festivals, so everybody comes and it's on a Sunday,
right?
And they come, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night set up. A lot of people used to cook on the parking lot, but they've learned that some of them anyway, local, it's easier to cook in your restaurant and bring it,
right?
And hold it. But so some of the Saturday nights got to be a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
There's
it's because Blood Brothers always bring. So Blood Brothers is this fantastic barbecue joint, and they're so unique because they bring this huge Asian influence into the barbecue. But these guys, they freaking bring it.
Well, so they
usually, if people are passed out, it's because they're drinking the soju. Goji. Soju and goji from Blood Brothers. They bring all this stuff out with, and they cook all sorts of stuff.
Oh my God.
He was doing porchetta on a rotisserie,
but they'll cook the night before. They'll come and cook something completely different than they're going to serve at the festival, just to serve.
For the people at night.
Wow.
A couple of the highlights. I'm trying to think of kind of what was the best
this year.
Yeah, what'd you like the best?
Will's brisket.
Well, of course.
No, I mean,
but they did. So he did that Sunday, the kind of the barbecue Sunday.
Yeah. But so when I got around there, they were out of the potato salad and the coleslaw, so it was just meat and cheese, which you can't beat meat and cheese. But I mean, okay, what was the best? Who's your favorite kid? I mean, it's different. I mean, you can't. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about barbecue festivals that attract me is you can go to one location and you can go around to 28 places and taste side by side by side.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I learned that. So I learned that we went to my wife and I went to the Texas Monthly Barbecue Festival in Austin back years ago. I think it was the second or third one.
Small potatoes.
Well, but the point. So it's when Aaron Franklin's ascendancy was just starting. And so, the superstars at that were Franklin's and Pecan Lodge and I don't, of course, Louis Miller and those, but so we went, and it was, I didn't know about VIP at the time. And we did GA, and so so there's long lines, and so I knew different places I wanted to try them, and the Franklin line was just way too freaking long. And so I told my wife, I'm not leaving until I get this barbecue.
Yeah.
The long story that I won't go into, but when I had that and could compare it side by side to the bite that I had here and the bite that I had here, it was clearly better than these others. Yeah. Now, with one exception, there was a little place up in the corner that nobody knew about called La Barbecue.
Oh, yeah, Leanne's place.
But it was the first time that they had been there, and they were really good, but they didn't have a line, and nobody knew who they were.
Yeah.
But my point is that it's the ability to be able to judge. This one tastes good. This one, it's okay, but not as good. And so you've got now, with kind of the evolution of the barbecue world. At the barbecue festival, people aren't just doing brisket, ribs, and sausage. They're coming with unique dishes that you get put together, assemble in a restaurant.
Right.
So that's kind of a difference. And I think that the Houston Barbecue Festival really was the genesis of that.
Yes.
Because you guys brought in, new, upcoming, unique, not just the traditional, not the traditional Central Texas. And I think Blood Brothers was one of the ones, and Patrick Fegis, when he did Whole Hog.
Yeah.
Grant Pinkerton when he did that smoked alligator.
That was cool.
It kind of just blew everybody's mind that people are doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
So
and they were doing unique, and I'd say even almost a little not barbecue this year. Greg Gallen did frog legs.
Yeah.
Which my daughter tried, and I looked at it, and for some reason my mind clicked to quail. I thought it was a little quail because of the size and the shape and the color and stuff like that. And I didn't realize he was doing frog legs. And my daughter's like, "Oh man, this is really good." Charlie came and spent the day out there with me. It was real fun for her. And she said, "Oh yeah, this tastes really good," and so she really liked it. And I didn't realize until like 24 hours later. I was talking to somebody. It was like, "Oh yeah, Greg did frog leg." Oh, that makes sense. That's what that was. And I told Charlie, and she was like, "Oh, that was those are pretty good." So
tastes like chicken.
She said
tastes like frog.
She said it had interestingly, she said it had the consistency of like catfish.
Really?
Yeah. Which I didn't try. We were busy, but so you speak about not barbecue. Well, Ronnie Killen did
fried chicken.
Both smash burgers and fried chicken. The fried chicken was better than the burger.
I thought the burger was pretty good.
Pizzatolas. Old school, primarily, super old school barbecue. Tim Taylor is back at Pizzatolas, so he was gone for a while. Josh is gone, but Tim is back, and they did a burger. It was a brisket grind burger, and it was like a little mini slider format. It was very good. Very good, I thought. It's all good. I had RS salmon.
Yeah, I didn't get
Harlem Road did a little salmon.
Yeah, he did lobster tail too.
He did lobster tail. I saw him cooking the lobster tail in a live fire pit, but I didn't get to taste it.
Yeah. Wow. Well, but you mentioned Blood Brothers did, porchetta.
Yes.
Didn't get any of that.
I did. It was fantastic. You missed out.
Yeah. But it just, on the other side, what did Leonard do? Leonard did something unusual.
Oh, tacos. He did little street tacos.
Yeah.
I can't remember if they were barbacoa or I can't remember what they were.
But it's interesting. You talk to the pit masters, and they've now kind of evolved, and they want to do something a little special, a little different, particularly for the VIP crowd that gets in. Their tickets are more expensive. They get in early, and they want to just get them with that wow bite.
Yeah. I tell you, my favorite of all. So we've done the Barbecue Fest for 9 years. This was the ninth year, and my favorite bite of all of those 9 years was, and everybody knows that I think I have two barbecue places which I consider the gold standards. It's Louis Mueller and Corkscrew, and Wayne came out and partnered with Rebecca Mason from Fluff, and he did beef rib on her mini croissant.
Oh, yum.
And that's all it was. It was literally a piece of the Louis Mueller beef rib on her mini croissant. And it blew everybody away. It blew everybody. And I don't know why. I think it's like the combination of the butteriness of the croissant plus my mouth's watering. Yeah. Like the high fat content of the beef rib itself was just incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about the creativity of the things at the barbecue festival, the throwdowns
that you guys used to do. Yeah.
Really is, and that's where the concept is they're trying to one up each other. It's actually and participants get a little token and they can go around and plop it in the box at the place that they like. And so they're judged by so some really unique stuff there.
Yeah. That's actually a really cool event. So that's a different style of event, but it's generally like 12 barbecue joints, and we call it a throwdown. And we've done a Tex-Mex throwdown. They originally started as, hey, let's do a fun competition, and we do it at St. Arnold's in the old beer hall.
Yep.
And let's do a fun competition and say, come up with a patently Houston barbecue dish. Had to have some sort of smoke component to it.
Okay.
But patently Houston. It didn't have to be brisket and ribs and chicken. It could be whatever you wanted it to be. And we had some amazing stuff come out of that. And that has a panel. Allison Cook was on the judging. Greg Morago, Ron Killen, Will Buckman's been on it. Austin Simmons.
Yeah, Wayne.
All these guys. Yeah, Wayne. Yeah, Eric Sandler. All these guys have been on the judging panel. So there's a judge's choice, and then there's a people's choice as well. And it's funny that they don't often coincide. They did once.
The people's and the judges are completely different.
Yeah, but they're generally pretty different. But way more than barbecue, and a really fun competition. And again, a sense of camaraderie and connection through the barbecue community.
Well, and then you did the Houston versus Austin throwdown.
Yeah, well, Houston won that.
I was going to say, please tell me we won.
Actually, I don't think we did.
No?
We did like one or two. We actually did one here.
Yeah.
And Austin won, and then we went to Austin and did. And I think Houston won.
We won.
So the back up the kind of the evolution of the barbecue festival. The festival started. The first festival I went to was the Texas Monthly in Austin, and that was the granddaddy and the one that got all the hype and the one that was very traditional.
Right.
And I, like many people, just was taught that Austin is the epicenter, the hill country. That's where the best barbecue is. And so then I got learned about the Houston Barbecue Festival. Right. Well, it's my backyard. I'm going to go.
Sure.
And what struck me was how different it was and how progressive and unique and that really how much more advanced even back in the early days the Houston barbecue community was than Austin, because Austin and not just Austin but around it was the traditional brisket, ribs, sausage, potato salad, coleslaw, that kind of stuff, and while you can get that here, there's so much diversity and difference and unique, and Blood Brothers you brought up, and how they kind of brought in the Asian influence, and that let everybody get a little bit more creative, and so there's a lot of creativity now, but there's also a lot of tradition.
I think there is, and I've got to give a lot of credit, all the credit to J.C. Reed and Mike Fulmer, who are the two guys who they're the two co-founders. So J.C. Reed he's a great guy, and I've known him. Well, I got involved with him because of Barbecue Fest back in 2012, and they put it together. So he is the Houston Chronicle barbecue editor. Okay. He's a food writer and collaborator with restaurants and things like that. And then Mike Fulmer, who he's funny. He's kind of like the restaurant GM around town. Like he's been at STQ. He has been up until yesterday at J Bar M.
That's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story we can talk about. But so these two guys kind of had this vision of, hey, let's put this thing together. And they had the benefit of learning from the errors made by other festivals. When festivals were really big, like we'd have problems like the food truck festival. Like you'd pay to get in, There'd be all these food trucks. But then you'd pay at each food truck. And then you'd wait like an hour because food trucks can't produce food at the volume that other people do. And so we learned from all of that. And over the years, I mean, we started with 12 barbecue joints and we had about 500, 600 people there at Bayou City Event Center. And we learned over time how to do it and how to make it right. And so now everybody knows if you come to the Houston Barbecue Festival, and here's an insider tip, get a VIP ticket so you get it an hour early. Yeah. It's worth the money.
Yeah.
And bring a tray. And I don't mean a small tray. I mean a big tray. And you walk in, you go to each place, you pick up each boat, you get your beer, and you go and sit down.
That's smart.
And you avoid all the lines. You get to taste everything side by side like you're talking about, and just have a great time. And so a lot of credit to Chris or JC Reed and Fulmer for putting this together the way it has
creating
been.
The template.
And I will say, and the volunteers. So I help organize. So I've been with them from the beginning, and I help organize all the volunteers. And we have such a great set of volunteers who return, and people like Stuart who come out and volunteer their time to help us set up, tear down, unload storage units of all the stuff, and keep things moving. So yeah, it's really a great event. I think.
Well, so you mentioned that JC and Mike have kind of created the template for it, and
now we have.
So I met JC at he was at standing in the back of the room, and I don't remember if I think it was at Camp Brisket, but anyway, I saw him and Fulmer at the Texas Monthly in Austin one year. Went up to him and said, "Hey, you don't remember me? We met in Austin, and I'm in Houston, and he said, great. You get back to Houston. Let's get together. Let's have lunch." And so I set up a lunch. We met at Corkscrew, and my partner Jack Stibbs and I went. And so Jack is originally from New Orleans, and he years ago started the Woodlands Crawfish Festival as a fundraiser. To raise money for a charity that he founded for a horrible disease that his daughter had. That's a whole long story that we don't.
Pulmonary hypertension.
Yeah, pulmonary hypertension. So Jack had history, and the Crawfish Festival had been, partnered with the Woodlands Chamber, and they did it each year, and 5,000 people came. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting at Corkscrew with JC and talking and eating good barbecue, and I said, I'd like to do something barbecue in the Woodlands because there's so many people that like it, and I was thinking maybe we do a not a festival, but just a demo or, something, raise awareness. And JC and Jack said, well, let's do a barbecue festival. And JC said, let's do a barbecue festival.
Yeah.
Like,
crap.
Yeah.
So this was in May of 2016. And in October of 2016, the inaugural Woodlands Barbecue Festival.
Yeah, right there at town center.
Yeah.
And it was really, it's one of those things where had I known then what I know now, we might not have done it.
Yeah. What was I thinking?
But one of the things about it is JC came and all the volunteers from the Houston Barbecue Festival and Anthony and Fulmer and Richard and that whole crew just kind of transplanted over here, and it was so different than. We just thought with the Crawfish Festival, we take the crawfish out, we put the barbecue in. It's the same model. No. It is not the same model at all. And so it was kind of a learning experience. And we ended up doing it for 3 years. In 2019, we just had a scheduling issue with Butcher's Ball and then COVID. And so we're so the difference between the typical festivals and the one we did is we did ours as a nonprofit to raise money for the charity for pulmonary hypertension. Jack's daughter Emily, when she was 5 years old, was diagnosed with PH, which is an incurable 100% fatal disease. The good story is Emily's 30 years old now. They gave her a 3 to 5 year life expectancy when she was 5. And Jack learned at that time that there wasn't really any research. There wasn't any pediatric research. And he said, that's not good enough. And so he started doing golf tournaments and cook-offs and then the Crawfish Festival to raise money for awareness and education and research. And so we said, okay, we'll do this for PH. So all of the barbecue, pit masters thought, this is great. And I'm, talking to them now, it's like, that's a little bit different. We're doing something for a cause. It's in a great location. It's, it's at Town Green Park right there by the waterway next to the pavilion. It's, it's not on a parking lot somewhere. It's
hey, what's wrong with the parking
No,
lot?
There's nothing wrong with it. Particularly the parking lot.
Especially if it rains. The parking lot's better if it rains.
But so one year, you remember.
We did have some rain.
We had rain and it's soggy. And one year we got on site to put up our tents, and there was another festival that was tearing down, and they had these big 55-gallon water drums that they hold the tents down with.
Yeah.
Well, they just started knocking them over to drain them in the area where we had to come put up the tents.
No.
So we got, I had some words with it.
Yeah.
But so my point here is that JC and Mike and Anthony and the HOU BBQ Houston barbecue people are so it's like the camaraderie.
Right.
Let's help you do this.
Yeah.
Let's help this happen. Let's.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
We all had a great time there.
Well, and so interestingly, when I was at the Houston Barbecue Festival 2 weeks ago, people who I hadn't seen in a while because we haven't done festivals are like, "When are you bringing back the Woodlands? When are you going to do that?" And so, I mean,
it helped that you were wearing the shirt.
Well, yeah, no, it did.
You wore your Houston barbecue.
Your
Woodlands.
You wore his Woodlands Barbecue Festival shirt at the Houston Barbecue Festival.
Yeah, which Anthony gave me crap about that for a week.
Still will.
Yeah. So, but people who had come and Will and Nicole and Michelle and Greg and Scott from Tejas and other people, and they have contacted me afterwards saying, "Look, I'm serious. Let's do this again. Let's get it together.
Yeah, no,
what help do you need from me?
Right.
And that's great.
That's how much they want to get together.
Yeah.
And so when's the next?
So not this year. It's going to be in 2023, probably. So we have to schedule with the township and events, and they have a lot of things going on.
And things.
So we're not going to be able to pull it off this year. Plus, it's I run a law firm on my day job, and running a barbecue festival is a lot of work, particularly with volunteer. But I've got to have people that are doing the organizing the volunteers and getting the vendors and doing getting all the stuff together. And so
I make it, because of the charitable angle, it makes it a little bit more complicated than what we're doing at the regular festival.
But there's complications with what you do too.
Well,
it's not like easy.
We got so lucky this year. The weather was beautiful. The attendees were great. The people who showed up were great.
Everything was good.
Everything was really good. So I want to switch gears from barbecue.
Okay.
We're still going to talk about food, but
all right,
because this is a food podcast.
I only eat barbecue.
So you live up here in the Woodlands?
Actually, I live in Magnolia.
No, Magnolia.
So
well,
close.
Okay, that's close enough. I mean, it's kind of all one metroplex now, if you will. Yeah. Conroe, Magnolia, Wood Forest, Woodlands. What's your favorite restaurant right now?
I can't get away from barbecue.
What's your favorite barbecue?
Well, Corkscrew.
Well, that's the right answer. Yeah.
Well, but I say that with a little bit of hesitation because, it's like, again, who's your favorite kid? What's your favorite ice cream? I like Corkscrew because I love Will and Nicole. It's a mile and a quarter from my office. Yeah. You know what you're going to get when you go every single time. It's consistency. And it's traditional barbecue. Yeah. Now, having said that, I'll go over to Tomball to Tejas because they've got stuff over there that you can't get at Corkscrew. Yeah. I was over there last week and they had the Philly cheesesteak, which I'd never had before. Oh my God.
His chili relleno sausage is really good.
Chili relleno sauce. But so I tend to favorite restaurant. Yeah. Corkscrew.
So let's talk a little bit about this. Last week, you and I and JC Reed went to Killen's Barbecue in the Woodlands. So in the old Culver space is Killen's. He opened the barbecue place. Interestingly enough, he opened it right across the street from... So Good Company has a cantina over there, and they also had the Good Company barbecue. Literally right across the street.
Right across the street.
Not 100 yards away.
Yeah. Right.
So Ronnie opens Killen in the old Culver space. It may not need to be said, but the Good Company barbecue unit is closed now, and they're rebranding it into the Fish Camp. Yeah. Good Company Fish Camp. We actually happened to run into Levi Good.
Was at Killen's.
While we were sitting there, Levi Good came in, and we talked to them a little bit. But what did you think? So This is kind of interesting. We went into the three of us went into Killen's, and only one of us got barbecue. I got the chicken fried steak. Chris got the Nashville hot chicken sandwich, and you got kind of a barbecue plate, mainly because we made you, because we had to taste the barbecue, because Chris had never been there before. What'd you think?
You know, it's okay. It's not the best barbecue in the Woodlands, and it's not the best barbecue in Texas, but it's good. And, you know, so... The line's not long. They're open for lunch. You can get in and get out. It's inside seating, and there's all the things that make it popular. But you know, I thought that the brisket was a little over smoked, a little, and the smoke was different on the brisket than on the ribs. Yeah, at that visit, I mentioned to Chris. I said the smoke. It was a little acrid to me. A little acrid.
But that can happen. I mean, listen, it can happen.
But. I've been there before and had really, really good food, and I've been there before and had average food. And I think that's the difference between, and don't get me wrong, Ronnie does a fantastic job. And I've been to his place in Pearland, the same thing, and had just, oh my gosh, I'm coming back here immediately, and then go back and say, it's okay. And so that inconsistency, and understand, I mean, it's inconsistency up here at the high level. It's not crappy at all by any means. But the difference between Killen's and a Corkscrew is that there's no inconsistency at Corkscrew. Ever. It's always always good. So, but Killen's, I've got a lunch meeting there week after next. So
yeah, I mean, I had the chicken fried steak. So it was my second or third time there, and interestingly, I've only ever once gotten the barbecue there. I've always gone for something else that they have there, and so they had chicken fried steak. I'm a man who loves my chicken fried steak, obviously, and I've had the chicken fried steak at the Killen's in town, which was the old Hickory Hollow. That they were and it was very good. This one was good. I mean, it tasted good. Flavors were good. Seasoning was really good. But I don't know what it is about chicken fried steak. There's very few times I've ever had it where the breading sticks to the chicken fried steak. Like, so you don't end up eating just a piece of bare meat, and then you have a bunch of crumblies left over, which reminds me of Long John Silver's when you used to get the fish planks and then the little crumblies underneath. It tasted good, but that turned me off about it, you know. But
have you had the chicken fried steak at Mia's?
Yes.
I thought it was good.
It was good. It had the same problem.
Yeah. So Republic Grill does a pretty good chicken fried steak, pretty good one, and the breading sticks to the meat.
So that's the criteria.
So Republic Grill can do it really well. This is a weird thing because it's not a place that you would traditionally get a chicken fried steak, but Austin Simmons occasionally runs a chicken fried steak on his menu, and he figured out how to get it to stick. One Shoe Brothers so has reopened, and they actually do a fairly mean chicken fried steak, and it sticks. But yeah, Republic Grill. I think I would, if I had to think about one in town, in the Woodlands, super local, it would probably be Republic Grill that I go to. Mia's, I don't like. It fell apart, and it was way too expensive for what it was.
Well,
it was way too expensive for counter service, and the quality of the food, I thought.
Well, and then their cream gravy is peppery. I mean, it's spicy. My wife doesn't like spicy, but she likes chicken fried steak.
So, So, pro tip for chicken fried steak, especially if you're someone who likes to take pictures like me, or always order the gravy on the side. Because one, it doesn't get soggy. Two, you can put it on the way you want if you're going to take a picture. Look, I do a lot of pictures, okay? So I think about these things. I always get chicken fried steak, and if I don't specify, it's covered in gravy, and I'm like, I get it, you love your gravy, but now it's mushy because by the time I get through it, it's all mushy and it's all falling apart, and I can't see the chicken fried steak to take a picture of it. You know, and how do you know you ate it if you didn't take a picture?
Well, so speaking of pictures, we're at Killen's. I get my plate. They get theirs. And my plates, I get my tray because they served it there. So my food's on the table first. They got a number. So I put the tray on the table. Anthony's got his, his big camera and his extra light. He's
and
taking
the whole,
pictures. And JC's over here taking pictures. And so a crowd of people is gathered around our table.
A few people did actually walk around.
Right.
Were you taking
what
pictures?
Are you doing?
And it's not like just a cell phone. I mean, he's got the camera and the, So, yeah.
Well, you got to make it look good.
You gotta do it for the
staging the food to get that perfect picture.
Well, I try to make my pictures as realistic as possible. So I try not to stage food. Now, we did rearrange a couple of plates because stuff was just kind of thrown on the plate. And you wanted to see everything.
Uncover the Killins logo on the peach paper that's on the tray.
I did take a picture of the croissant bread pudding. Yeah. And I did arrange the bottles of barbecue sauce behind it because you want, depth of field.
You got to get the right shot. But you don't use filters.
I do not.
So stage it properly, right?
I'll color correct, but I don't. I don't use filters. I don't oversaturate my pictures like some people, and it's just I try to make it look as realistic as possible. Now, does that work for social media? I don't know, but it's my style.
Clearly, I mean, you've built your social media initially, right, on food pictures.
Yeah.
So one of the things I learned from JC, we went to somewhere. Actually, I think it was Mia's table. He took a picture and that's Haley Adams, who was with me, used to run our barbecue festival, and she commented on, are you going to post that? And he said, no, I'm just taking a picture so I have some stock footage, so if I ever do a chicken fried steak article, I've got this picture. And I thought, what the hell? I mean, you're just you're taking
you got to keep
taking pictures to put in inventory. So when so interesting.
He does that. He does that a lot because if he's doing articles on different things and there's.
I think it's helpful though. It's really helpful for people who are trying to decide if they want to go try something. Mm-hmm. You see a picture of the food.
Sure.
It's
the more. I mean, you can filter stuff all day long, and I've got friends in social. We've talked about this on the podcast before. Friends in social media who filter things 10 ways to Sunday, and it's like. But somebody's going to see your picture. Somebody's going to see the chicken fried steak picture I took.
Right.
And they're going to go to Killen's and they're going to get something completely different.
Right.
And I don't know if that's catfishing or what, but it's kind of like, you don't look anything like your Tinder profile picture.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want it to be
right.
That, and that's why I don't personally, I mean, this is, again, everybody does what they want, but I don't do it because I want people to look at it and see it the way it is.
The way, yeah. I
posted a picture yesterday of a sandwich from Corkscrew. And I was with Nicole, and she said, "Are you going to eat today?" And because we were just, I was in the kitchen with them just chatting, because that's what we did. I said, I kind of feel like turkey, and she's like, "Oh, okay. Well, what do you want on?" And so we're like standing in the kitchen, and she makes a sandwich. She puts coleslaw and sausage and turkey. She says, "You want queso on it?" I'm like,
"Oh my god,
yeah, sure." And so she's having me take a picture of the queso being poured onto this tall turkey sandwich with coleslaw, and so I took it, but then I put the lid on it, and the top bun, and I took it outside, and all I did was set it on the wood pile outside because it's Corkscrew, it's wood, and this is what they use, and so I put it there, and I took a picture. So I posted that picture today, and Nicole affectionately refers to the sandwich now as the Anthony. Which is coleslaw, sausage, turkey, and queso.
Yeah,
on top of it, it's fantastic, but it looks unbelievably styled.
Sure,
but
it's not.
It really wasn't.
It was
and
just
if you order it there, that's what it's going to look like. Right. It may look great, but that's what it's going to look like, and that's important, I think.
I've never ordered off the menu at Corkscrew. I mean, I've never ordered anything.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I go in and get. So here's. People call me. I talk to people. I'm like, I've never been to Corkscrew before. So I have a standing rule. If you want to go to Corkscrew, call me. I need a 15-minute head start. The rule is, I get to order for you, but I'll pay. Because I want people to try.
We need to go to lunch more.
Try but try the staples. I mean, it's if you're going to go to you need to try the brisket, you need to try the ribs, you need to try the pulled pork,
get the platter,
right.
And so, I've got a buddy who says, "My gosh, they should do like a sampler platter, like a big, like a 6 meat and 3 side big thing." But so I've never ordered the bobbert or the the tacos or the salad. Or I saw you eating a salad in there one time.
Salads are surprisingly
That's what
good.
I get. I do all the meat, and I've done, because I love their brisket, I love their sausage, I love their ribs, love it all. But I get their salad now because I get the brisket on the salad.
And if you get it with that Caesar, that's Austin.
That's what I order.
Caesar.
I order Austin Caesar, and I put on the side, make my own.
Yeah. So you order everything for them.
Yeah, I order, typically brisket, ribs, pulled pork, sausage, and if I've got somebody that they particularly like turkey, or,
Another turkey.
So I went in there. I'm not a big smoked poultry fan, but Nicole's chicken.
Oh, the chicken's unbelievable.
Oh my gosh! Only on the weekends, only on Saturday.
Right.
But whole smoked chicken. It's just incredible.
I brought one home one day and I'd never had it before. And I was in there and they were getting ready to close, and Will's like, we have some extra chickens left. You want one? And brought it home. And even Rachel doesn't like smoked chicken because she's one of those people who thinks if it's pink, it might be undercooked.
Right.
And even though she smoked, but she had it was like, this is incredible.
Game changer.
This is like really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So I thought when you said you don't order off the menu, like you're one of the people who orders off menu.
No.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that occasionally.
Yeah.
But only with people I know really well.
Right.
And like Austin's a great example. Is I'll go in and he's like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't care. Whatever you feel like serving. I don't. I've had everything on the menu.
Sure.
I said whatever you feel like serving. Yeah. But ordering like that's how you do it at a bar.
Well, no, I know, but people, you're talking about the sandwich, and somebody's going to go in and order the sandwich, and and they're going to name it, and now they're doing the, what the thing they served at the barbecue festival. They did
the sundae,
a little cup of a sundae coleslaw on the bottom with pulled pork and queso on top.
They do it all different ways.
Yeah. But, it's a menu item. I wouldn't go in and order that.
Yeah.
Right.
If I want coleslaw and pulled pork, I'm going to order coleslaw and pulled pork. And,
exactly.
You were talking about sampler platters. So when I was at Louis Mueller yesterday, they now offer a $175 sampler platter, and it's like all the meats and a couple of sides and a beef rib. But I tell you what I was shocked by is I ordered brisket, ribs, and sausage, and sat down and ate it. And I went back up and I said, "Hey, can I get a beef rib to go?" Because Louis Mueller beef ribs are like the gold standard. They're like right? She said, "Sure." They're between $65 and $80 a piece. A piece now. So the beef short rib prices have gone from $5 a pound to $10 a pound. And unbelievable. And I'm like, as much as I wanted it, I'm like, I can't. I just can't. I can't.
No, it's a matter of principle sometimes.
Well, I think it was just so shocking to me. Like if I had known, maybe like before, maybe I would have prepared myself mentally for it. But it was.
Well, when it was $20 a rib, that was kind of jarring, but everybody got used to it. And okay, it's a big piece of meat. So.
But now, you've got, briskets. Killen's brisket was $25 a pound. Their pork ribs are up because pork's up, chicken's up, everything's up. And it's hard supply chain wise for these places to keep costs down.
Yeah.
So when I go to a barbecue place, I don't look at the cost per pound, because if I did, I probably wouldn't order it.
Some of us have to look at the prices on the menu.
Well, no, I understand that, but typically it's. I'm taking somebody for the first time, or I'm, and I go for myself, it's just, I don't order a lot.
But
if you're gonna go, I'm not gonna get brisket today because it's $32 a pound. Well, okay, that's what it is.
And again, at Louis Mueller, one of my favorite barbecue places in the whole world, and I got a quarter pound of brisket, a quarter pound of ribs, and a link of sausage. I didn't need a ton.
Right.
But that was, plus a drink, there was like $30 or something like that, which frankly wasn't that bad. It was more food than I could frankly eat. So it was fine. So it wasn't that bad. But $80 for a beef rib is.
When I go out to eat somewhere, if it's good food, I'm willing to pay for it.
Yes.
If it's mediocre or it's something I can cook better at home, I don't care if it's cheap.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I'm like that now with Tex-Mex food.
yeah.
I won't go to another Tex-Mex place, and because I can't justify it in my head to say I could go to my own restaurant and get it for free, or essentially for free.
Right.
Why am I going to go out?
Yeah.
Now I'll go out to try places and support friends and like Rita's and things like that. But it's
So
hard, it's
other
hard to
than
justify.
Fajita Pete's, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant? Tex-Mex.
So right now, well, you said Mexican. So right now
Okay.
it's Chivos. Which is Thomas Billy's new place. So the guy from Belly of the Beast went to Chivos, which means goat, and is down in Midtown, or not Midtown. I'm sorry, the Heights, and unbelievable Mexican food. Unbelievable.
What
Blows-
style?
Like
Interior
like
or
like a little Oaxaca, a little Jalisco, a little Veracruz, kind of a combination, but all kind of Mexican. And I tell you what, it freaking blows Hugo Ortega places away.
You said it.
Oh, and I'll say it all
You
day
said
long.
it.
Zoshi
Yeah.
has this thing called tlayudas, which is basically a Mexican pizza. I mean,
Right.
it's a tortilla and there's stuff on top. I've had it 3 times at Zoshi, and every time it was terrible. I went and I ordered it at Chivos, and it was a sirloin tlayudas, and it was freaking believable. So for that, it's that. For Tex-Mex, so Rita's is still my favorite kind of Tex-Mex place, just because I love them, and the quality of the food is so good. I think they do a great job. Now, street tacos is something different. So street tacos for me is El Veloz in Conroe, which if you've never been, it's essentially like Sonic, but for tacos. It's a food truck that they kind of put into a structure,
Right.
literally build a structure around the food truck, and you pull up and somebody comes out and takes your order, and they have a few little tables outside in the back that you can eat at, but like you just order some breakfast tacos, regular tacos. They have pastor, really good. It's very simple,
Nice.
good meat, good tortillas, cilantro, onions. That's all I want.
Yeah.
So talking about food, there's a lot of good food around here. I was thinking the other day, way back in the day when the Woodlands first started, there was one restaurant up here. It was Haydn's. That was the only place.
I remember
That's
that.
old school.
Only place to eat.
That's old school.
And everybody got excited when they opened a Grandy's on Sawdust.
I love Grandy's. You're talking about chicken fried steak. They had chicken fried steak, and it was the chicken fried steak and the rolls.
Yes.
The rolls at Grandy's.
Yeah.
I would, and that was right on Sawdust.
But
It was so good.
the point is that and we're seeing this as other parts of the state and country develop, is, first comes the residential, and then comes, okay, well, where are we going to go eat?
Right.
And typically it's fast food or, something. But then how fortunate we are in this community to have such a great option for different restaurants, and really good ones. And it's not, I mean, okay, Grandy's is good for Grandy's, but I mean, we've got more than the Grandy's, and Haydn's was Haydn's.
It was the best we could get at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't know any better.
But what have we got now? I mean, we've got so much to choose from.
Yeah, there really there's, and that's one of the reasons why we do this podcast. Is the reason why I do social media, is because we can spend so much time talking about Woodlands food and the people who are creating it, and some of the really interesting stuff. I mean, we did an episode a few weeks ago about just kind of opens and closes, but you see it's just such a churn of places. I mean, we've got a bunch of new places opening. You got Amrina, which is upscale Indian fusion, which is, they did a collaboration dinner with Austin and Tris, and it was very good. Chef Chassie did a great job. You've got State Fair opening. You've got Portofino opening, but then you got the closure. So you got Bluefish just closed.
Right.
A couple other places recently have closed down. But then you get really cool, locally owned, not just kind of like a one-off kind of thing. So I think about the new bagel place, Forget About It Bagels, with Kurt and Roxy. They started a bagel joint, and it worked out really well. Right. There's so many cool little one-off places now. It's great to see it.
Those are the ones that you used to call mom and pop,
right?
Mom and pop, but the one-off that it's something new, it's something different. It's not a chain.
It's not a chain.
Yeah.
When you travel around the country, you can go to any city USA and see the same,
Right.
mall with the same anchors, and it's
Well, you get. I mean, like Mozambique is new but old.
Right.
I mean, kind of new concept. You got North Italia, which again chain at the mall,
right?
But still pretty high quality.
Yeah.
There's a lot. So we're gonna go through this questionnaire. And I gotta preface this questionnaire. I always preface. So this is shamelessly ripped off from Inside the Actor Studio with James Lipton, which in turn was shamelessly ripped off from a French TV show called Apostrophes by Bernard Pivot, which was again ripped off from Marcel Proust. That was where it originally came from. So these are one-word answers or not one-word answers, quick answers. And I think I know the answers to a lot of these for you. But
so let's compare.
We're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway.
Tell me first what I would say, and I'll tell you true or false.
Okay. Number one, what is your favorite food?
Barbecue.
I figured that was true. What's your least favorite food?
Type of food or specific?
Dealer's choice.
Oh my gosh. Anything vegan.
What if it's a vegan barbecue side, like broccoli and vegan cheese?
Well, I mean, I'll eat broccoli, but hold the vegan cheese. Give me real cheese. You remember the vegan protesters we had at the barbecue festival?
Oh, that's right.
You remember that?
We did.
I'm sorry to digress.
No, that's true. We did. We had protesters once, and it was one at NRG, right? We were at NRG. I think.
Well, up here at the Woodlands, but also when you were at NRG, and I think that's how they found us because they followed.
Sure.
Hilarious.
Sure.
Yeah, they're handing out coupons for tofurkey and Anyway, sorry.
Barf. What chef inspires you the most?
Austin Simmons.
He gets too much play on this podcast.
He gets a lot.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Local celebrity.
I mean, local. Don't make his head any bigger than it already is.
Austin's a great guy. Besides being a really good chef, he's a great guy.
Yeah. He is. He is. What sound or noise do you love?
The closing of a pit when it clanks down.
Okay. This is a message for Jack Stibbs. You need to keep better track of your lawyers because I think he's not doing any law work. I think he's just doing barbecue stuff. What sound or noise do you hate?
Fingernails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, me too. I would agree with that. What is your favorite curse word?
Shit.
That's different. So we've gotten a lot of other responses, but we've never gotten that one.
Yeah, that's just so easy, and it's not as offensive as fuck.
It's not. Yeah. No. So the other one.
What?
I can say that, right?
What? Yeah, you can. There's a podcast. There's no kids here. When I upload it to, or when we put it on YouTube, we have to check a little box that says this is not for kids.
Oh yes, yeah.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? I'm going to qualify this by saying your profession, in case you didn't know, is being an attorney.
Yes.
So that's not a barbecue guy. So.
and I wouldn't choose barbecue guy because it's too freaking hard. It's just amazingly hard.
Unbelievably hard.
So, profession, police officer.
Interesting.
That's respectable.
Side note, I am taking part in the Montgomery County Constable's Citizen Police Academy right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
So my daughter's a Houston police officer.
Oh, okay.
She is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law's husband, I guess that makes him my brother-in-law, is a Montgomery County sheriff.
Wow.
As well. But so I'm trying to do this little Citizens Police Academy kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, kind of interesting. What would be in your last meal? We asked you this question, and what was your answer?
I think I said steak. Yeah, like a big fillet, medium rare, juicy. Bacon, probably.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is the health expert.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with protein.
No, I mean, if it's your last meal, if it's your last meal, what does it matter, right?
She said fillet, not ribeye, so the fat content is a lot lower.
A little healthier.
That's true.
A little healthier. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. My last meal. Brisket from Corkscrew, chili relleno sausage from Tejas, beef rib from Louis Miller, coleslaw from Corkscrew.
Yeah, Nicole's coleslaw is killer. It's got kale in it. It's almost vegan.
It's healthy.
I hate kale, but I would like.
No,
I
it's
would,
so good.
No, but I like her coleslaw.
It's so good.
I like her coleslaw.
Yeah. And for dessert, carrot souffle and pineapple cobbler from
Nicole's pineapple cobbler.
Yeah.
Her cobblers are to die for.
So, yes, they are. I watched her making the cobbler once. You,
Yes.
being the health expert you are, never want to watch Nicole make the cobbler. There is so much sugar, so much flour,
I would
but
imagine
it tastes fantastic. I mean,
copious
it's
amounts
just
of
so good.
butter,
A little
too.
bit of
Butter, yeah,
Just a little.
butter, sugar, flour, and that's it. And it's like the proportions are just
But you don't eat
mind-boggling.
cobbler every day.
yeah. So that's it.
I can't eat
a pretty-
anymore.
it's a
It's a
pretty
pretty
good
big.
list.
It's a pretty big
That's a pretty
meal.
big meal.
good-
Yeah, that
yeah.
was good. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for
I
having me.
really appreciate you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good little barbecue talk. We were going to talk about some other things.
We were. We actually were.
What did we miss?
Yeah. Well, we were going to talk about lots of other things, so we missed a lot of things.
We'll have to have
have to do another
Stuart
one.
back.
So yeah, I mean, but I guess the point, and I am a barbecue nerd. I just am, and I own it. So
That's okay.
thanks
It's a good
for-
thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to be a nerd about.
It's a very
Yeah.
good thing.
We learned a lot.
I've learned a lot from you nerds today. It's been great.
Thanks for coming on, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for all the barbecue chat. It was
You
awesome.
definitely lighten up the room versus Frank. So we love Frank.
Sorry, Frank.
Frank will be back. Frank had a scheduling conflict tonight.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's all right. He's allowed.
He's allowed. Yeah. No, he's a good guy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.